Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Ashley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial style video on the look I'm wearing right now. It's very gold and glowy and I'm loving it for the summer. It's got some glitter on the crease, so things are happening. So if you're interested in how I got this look, then just keep watching and let's get right into it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water and just spray this all over my face. Just let that, ow, if I don't hit myself in the face, just let that sink in. And then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and take the No Problem Primer by Touch in Soul just on like the center of my face where I have the most pores. Just take like that much and just start to press it right down the center of my face. This will help to just smooth everything out and fill in those pores. For foundation, I'm going to take the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. This is in the shade Warm Beige. I've honestly really been loving this foundation. It just sits really well on the skin. It's a nice medium coverage, like a demi-matte finish, which I personally like for the summer especially, to be a little bit more matte. But I've really been loving it. The only thing is, if you do have smile lines, you really have to make sure you set in those areas because it will sink into your smile lines or anything like that. If you do struggle with lines of any sort, this might not be the best fit for you. However, it does glide over texture really well, or any acne spots it covers really well and lays on the skin pretty well. And if you think you're done blending it in, just keep going. The longer you spend bouncing that into your skin, the better it's going to look in the end, and the more flawless it'll look, and it'll mesh with your skin better. So don't be afraid to just take your time blending that all in. Right. So for concealer, I'm going to take the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Light 2.8, and I'm just going to highlight down the center of my face. This concealer is a nice medium coverage concealer as well. It looks super healthy and natural on the skin, which is why I love it. And then if I do need to spot conceal any like acne spots, I'll go in with a different one that's a little more full coverage. But just to highlight and brighten under my eyes, this one works perfect for that. Just go ahead and conceal the eyelids as well, and we'll just use that instead of like an eyeshadow primer today. So to cream contour today, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Foundation Stick, and this is in the shade Fawn, just to cream contour and get that base started. I'm just going to take the e.l.f. small stippling brush to blend that in. Now this color does show up a little bit better for me when I'm a little bit more fair in the winter months, but I still use it in the summer just for a nice natural contour, nothing too harsh. But because this is a foundation stick and not just a cream contour, it adds a little bit of extra coverage if you need it in certain areas, or the areas that you would contour in. It does help to provide a little bit of extra coverage. Now we're going to set all of those cream products down. To do that, I'm going to take the Cover FX, I think this is, yeah, the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and put this everywhere, basically that we put our concealer, so that it doesn't move throughout the day. And I'm just going to take the same beauty blender that's still a little bit wet and use this to set that concealer down. I like using a beauty blender over a brush. It just sets it a little bit nicer. It helps blend it in with the skin and it doesn't look so powdery. So we're just going to do a light bake today. And then, like I said, if you do have smile lines, you definitely want to set this foundation right over those smile line areas. And then I'm also going to go right under where we contoured on the side. Oh my gosh, I'm looking really crazy right now. But right under this contour area, So when we powder contour in a second, it'll help keep that line clean. And then I also will use the same powder just to set my eyelids down. That way the concealer doesn't crease on our eyelids, and it'll be prepped and ready when we start our eyeshadow look. So while that's sitting, I'm going to go ahead and powder contour. So for that, I'm going to take the Anastasia contour kit. This is the light to medium one and the powder one. So I'm going to take this middle shade right here and contour up the same places that we did with the cream contour, but just make it a little bit more intense. And just go in and set pretty much everywhere that setting powder wasn't placed, so wherever we cream contoured, it'll set it down and make sure that the foundation isn't still sticky underneath anywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and wipe away that excess powder. So I start by just pressing into my skin with the brush. This is the Kat Von D shade and light brush. And just press the powder in. This will make sure that the cream products underneath don't go anywhere. And then normally on the side part, I will start to brush it away a little bit, just to make sure it's not too harsh of a line. And then I'll brush it down the neck as well. Alright, now I'm going to do the brows. So I'm going to go for a little bit more of an intense brow today. So I'm taking the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4.5. And I'm just going to quickly fill these in a little bit. Okay, one brow done. Alright, to set that down, I'm going to take the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel and just brush this in. This works really well to keep them in place all day. If you have crazy brows like I do that just never want to stay in place, I recommend checking this out. It's like hairspray for your brows, basically. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the eye part of this video. And I do have some inspiration from a picture I saw on Pinterest, actually. So it's kind of like a golden smoky eye. You could use this for prom or for a wedding or a night out, whatever you want to use it for. But this is the look here. So it's just like a gold smoky eye with some brown shades. So this is a look we're going to try and recreate with the glitter and everything. We'll see how it turns out, if it looks anything like this. But that's the inspiration for today. So I think for that look, I'm going to use the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. I used this in my first tutorial that I uploaded, but the tones in here I just think will fit that look really well. So we're going to go in with this. To start off, I'm taking the Morphe R37 with the shade Necessary, which is this brown shade here in the middle. And I'm going to take this and just start to buff this into my crease. Just to get that nice transition going. Alright guys, so my memory card just filled up, so I had to go and delete some stuff on there. So I probably look a little different. It did not record everything that I thought it did, so I'm not really sure what it was still showing, but I just went in with Necessary first and buffed that all into my crease and built that color up. And then I was going in with the shade Churro right here and putting that more intense in my crease and the outer part of my eye. So with Churro, I was taking the Morphe R39 brush, which is flatter and a little bit more fluffy. And I'm just continuing to buff this from inner to outer corner, because the next darkest shade we're not going to take all the way to the inner corner, so I want this one to show through in that inner part of the crease. And then I'm going to go back in with the fluffier brush and a little bit of Necessary and blend over the top of that. So next I'm going to take the shade right here, this deep brown color. This is the shade Cheens. I'm going to take this e.l.f. Crease brush, it's just a nice small fluffy brush, and go in with this shade to deepen up that outer part of our eye. And taking it a little bit into the crease, but I want to keep this on the outer part because I want to keep my eye nice and open. So I'm making sure this stays on the outer portion. So just start by stamping it on and then go in and blend it out. And then going in with the same brush we used with Churro, but no extra product, and just help to blend the outside of that into the crease to make sure it looks nice and seamless. Just go in with a really light hand, even though there's no extra product on it. We want to make sure we're not putting too much pressure so that it blends nicely. I'm going to take the powder brush that I used earlier to make sure there's no fallout. I think the gold in this palette is a little too intense for what I'm going for. So for the gold, I'm going to actually dip into the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia and take the shade Fairy, which is this glittery one right here. And I'm just going to take this little Wet n Wild flat shadow brush, but first I'm going to take the NYX glitter primer and put some of this on the back of my hand. And this will make any shimmer shade you put down just a little more intense and shimmery. It makes it stay there all day without creasing and it keeps that intensity all day, so I really like using this before any shimmer shadows. And you just want to start to pat this in only where you're putting that shimmer down. So the inner 2/3 of our eye. And so I'm going to go straight into the Fairy shade and just pat this all over the top of that primer. I'm going to go back in with the brown we were using earlier from the Friendcation palette, the darkest Cheens color, and start to flick this onto the edge of that gold just to help the two colors blend together. So I'll just flick it towards the gold and then very softly rub back and forth right where the two colors meet. And then I feel like we lost a little bit of the warmth from that Cheens shade. So I'm going to, or not Cheens, from the Churro shade. So I'm going to put some of that back in right on top. Staying more on the outer portion just because I don't want to mess up that line that we created with the shimmer. But I want that warmth to still be showing through. When in doubt, blend it out. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that so far, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, go back in with that NYX primer and the Fairy shade from Anastasia, and just do the same thing on this eye. Alright, so for the lower lash line, I'm going to take this other Wet n Wild brush. It's more of like a fat dome shadow brush. And take the shade Churro and buff this all along that lower lash line. I really want this to be smoked out from inner to outer corner and connect it with the shades that we used on the top so everything kind of comes together as one. And then I'm going to take the Morphe E36, just a small pencil brush, with that dark brown, again, Cheens, and really smoke out right next to the lash line. And then no additional product with that Wet n Wild brush, and just blend those two together. Now it's time for the fun part. So, in this look, she has like a glitter cut crease situation happening. So I really want to try that out. So I think I'm going to take this Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner. This is in the shade Midnight Cowboy. And I'm just going to go right on the line where that gold stops, in between the gold and the crease, and just put a thin line right in that place. I'm going to need concentration for this portion, so bear with me. We'll see how this goes. Okay, one eye done. Kind of let that dry before I close my eyes too much. I don't want it to smudge. I'm going to take this Milani Stay Put waterproof eyeliner in the shade Hooked on Espresso and tightline with this. I feel like I make the ugliest faces when I'm putting eyeliner on. Oh well. Now I'm just going to curl my lashes, throw a little bit of mascara on, and then pop my favorite lashes, which is Babe Alert by Bold Face Lashes. And I'm going to pop those on real quick, and then we'll be right back to finish up the face. Alright, lashes are on, eyes are complete besides highlight. So now let's go back to the face. For bronzer, I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Island Ting with the Morphe R14 brush. Gonna go in with my tried and true favorite, the Anastasia Resi highlight. It is the most gorgeous highlight you will ever lay your eyes on. I don't know if it's gonna pick up the texture in it, but it's so pretty. And this is the Morphe Y14 brush. And just load up those cheekbones. Just keep loading it on. Can't have too much. And then I'm also just going to take another Morphe pencil brush, pop this in my inner corners, just to brighten those babies up. And then I'm also going to pop this under my brow bone. Like so. Ooh, she's glowing. Alright, now for blush. I've been doing my blush after my highlight recently, just because I feel like it blends it together really nicely. So I'm gonna take my Milani Luminoso blush, just because I feel like it'll be a nice pop of color, a nice pretty shade. Alright, set everything down. I'm gonna take my All Nighter setting spray by Urban Decay. Just spritz the whole face. It feels so just refreshing and nice. I'm just going to line my lips real quick. This is the Maybelline Color Sensational in Nude Whisper. And then I'm just going to go for it. We're just going to use the Dose of Colors Over the Top Gloss and put this right on top. It's just a nice, kind of like a clear lip gloss, honestly, with a bunch of gold shimmer in it. And let's just top this bad boy off. Alright, God, my hair. Will my hair ever not be a mess for my videos? Probably not. Alright, that's the finished look, guys. So let me know what you guys think, if I did a good job recreating this look. I honestly think it turned out really good. I like the glitter liner. I like the intense highlight, the intense brows. I'm digging it. So let me know what you guys think. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel so you see all my new videos. And hopefully see you guys next time. Bye, guys.